Witchcrafter budget deck profile. First things first, I do own this deck on my Switch, but since I've already played it there, I did not want to convert it or buy it on this account because I've already played it up to low platinum at the end of the season, that being said, but it did work out quite well. So I felt like giving you a bit of a list on this one, because all you need for this are 5 super rares and basically 1 ultra rare, if assuming you've already crafted Lightning Swarm or Solemn Judgment from these packs that you get to start the deals with the master packs. And this deck works really well. You do not need much for it. You can obviously upgrade it. You see on the right hand side, I have made a list of cards that, well, would make this deck a lot better. Any of the 2 pots, for example, would make the deck a lot better, give you more consistency or more cards in your hand, plus good Ash Blossom bait, so a lot of the time that can be quite nice. Called by the Grave, also against Ash Blossom, because it's one of your biggest play enders, and you run into a lot of these kind of things. Good thing about the deck though, Maxi is really none of your business basically. You special summon once or twice, and you can stop when your opponent hits you with an Maxi that might break them even, but nothing more. Summon Limit is a good card if you want to focus more on going first and really annoy most opponents, because it is quite a summon heavy meta. Only problem is maybe Sky Striker or well, Eldritch, but other than that it should do well. It could run Gamma against these Ash Blossoms as well, since you tribute your monsters so your field might be empty at this point. Still, since it's at 2, playing 1 driver as well might not be great. Metal Force Fusion could be a nice extension, but since this is super rare, just for 1 draw I didn't want to include it. Foolish Burial can be good because your Witchcrafters have nice effects in the graveyard. If you go into a second, Dark Rule No More can be really good against combo decks, plus it's a power spell card so you can still discard it, and that's the motto of the deck basically. Plus Ash Blossom or Maxi, just overall strong cards, but you do want to have enough spells in the deck because that's kind of what this deck runs on basically. And starting off with the Witchcrafters, you basically run the main 2 ones at 3, which are Jenny and Shmieta. Don't know how to say that one, but the level 4 gal, right? The level 4 gal, because they are your combo pieces, I want to say. They are effects that actually are helpful. The other ones mainly just are there, so you have a normal summonable Witchcrafter, which can actually help you with getting into like your boss monsters, I want to say. So the other 2 run at 2. You could even cut Pottery, for example, to 1, or cut Pittori to 1, but I like the draw effect, and yeah, it's nice, but it's not overwhelming, especially if you run stuff like Power of Extravagance. Then the draw effect isn't even going to come in handy anymore as well, so you might want to be cutting down on that one then, but so far that works fine. Ratios of the boss monsters, 1 Hane, 1 Veer, and 1 Golem Ururu are usually enough. You could run multiple golems, but this is meant to be budget profile, so I felt like giving the least amount of possible. If you feel like stuff gets banished too often, you can't get them back, maybe run 1 more Hane, for example. I liked Hane more than I did like Madame Veer, even though it is like a blanket negate for the whole board, but it's only once, so it's nice if you want to break your opponent's boards, but usually they wouldn't let you because they would just respond to it, which it's a bit of a hard one, but this card can come in handy. It's just not, you know, it's not overly great, but also can help you get over pesky monsters with the battle quick effect, so possibly even go for 2 of that if you have the super rares, or if you opened the packs yourself and you just happen to have the cards. 1 Monster Reborn helps you if your combo's been stopped during your turn, so you can just get a monster back and like maybe special summon out a Witchcrafter during your opponent's turn then, for example, or even helps you getting a Witchcrafter back on board, because that's the way you recycle your Witchcrafter spells from the graveyard. Because if you don't control a Witchcrafter, they stay in your graveyard for good, and a bit annoying that one. Witchcrafter Creation, your Rota for this deck, good card mostly. Can use it off of the Shmieta into Ginny combo as well, to search Golem Ururu basically at the end of your turn, so get some extra, well, not protection, but some kind of interaction during your opponent's turn, which is quite nice. Witchcrafter Holiday, basically Monster Reborn, really great getting your boss monsters back or getting your Witchcrafters back. Mainly, it's annoying that you really don't want to use the Witchcrafter spells, because you kind of want to use them as discard fodder that comes back to your hand, which you can't if you actually use it. Still a bit counterproductive, but kind of a neat gimmick. Witchcrafter collaboration. Don't rate it as high. It can be nice to finish the game or in certain situations, but there is better cards. Lightning Storm, I just felt like you don't really have much of a chance against stuff like Eldritch or in general Backrow decks, which are not as favorable at the moment because lots of staple trap cards are quite hard to craft, and a lot of people want to more focus on the other good cards rather than mad Backrow. So I feel, yeah, well, Lightning Storm, you might get away with it. Let's just hope you don't have to go second and pray for the best, basically. Witchcrafter by Street, I decided to run out of 3 because stuff like Lightning Storm was around, stuff like Rageki is around, and it can be annoying if your opponent gets rid of your stuff. Plus, it works quite well with Torrential Tribute, for example, so I kind of like that small combo with the low rarity kind of cards. And in general, I feel like not being able to be destroyed by battle card effect can make quite a difference, as I've seen in Trap Tricks, for example. Yeah, in general for a control deck, I always felt like that's a neat kind of thing. One scroll, not that helpful. It's kind of a win more card. If you attack and you can destroy monster by battle, you will be in a quite good position already anyway. Could help sometimes, not necessarily the greatest. Book of Moon, card that is a power spell, which I was talking about, quick play spell, and it is only a rare card. So I feel like this card helps you go in second, this card helps you go in first. It's obviously not as good as certain other cards like Ash Blossom and whatnot, but first of all, it's a spell, so if you need a spell in hand, you can keep it in hand. You can also set it, disrupt your opponent, don't let them get into link plays, don't let them go into, well, yeah, that's basically, or synchro plays even. All these kind of things can be nice. Also go in second, getting rid of a negate, basically. That's what it does. Either you flip the negate monster over or they have to negate it. This deck has massive issues against Drytron and the ritual monster though, which isn't theirs, but you know what I'm talking about. Just scoop it up, I guess. Next one, Forbidden Chalice. Good card that is also low rarity. Also same thing as Book of Moon, basically. Helps you on your turn, helps you on your opponent's turn. Not much to go wrong there as a spell card. Witchcrafter Draping, I want to say weapon against Backrow decks, but yeah, not really. It's not really helpful in any circumstance, other than if you're already kind of winning, because your opponent can still do so much to basically not get hit by this. Can come in handy though, so I feel like at 1 it's definitely a good card. Witchcraft Unveiling is nice. The opponent cannot activate cards or effects in response to the activation of your spellcaster's monster effects. Really good, can come in really handy. You have to have a Witchcrafter in hand though, which is the main problem with this card actually, or this card being negated in the first place. So yeah, all has its ups and downs. Torrential Tribute, I put it in there. That's one of the cards you can swap out first, because, well, it's just in here because it's a low rarity card. Going first, it's nice, and with Buy Street, it doesn't really matter. You're not blowing up your board too much, and this can come in really handy against certain opponents. Obviously, that's a choice, so you can put in whatever you want. One Solemn Judgment can be replaced if you didn't open the packs, but I felt like it's good. Stops your opponent's everything, basically. So, yeah, for a control deck, really good card. And 2 Patronus, could run 3, but if you draw 2 at the start, it's really annoying. You don't know what to do with it. Helps you keep in the game, helps you recycle stuff, and actually gets you a mad advantage if your opponent doesn't take care of it, which, yeah, they have to. So that's that. And extra deck, you see, 0, you can fill up with whatever you want. There's nothing that you need to have. There's very good cards, but you don't really rely on going into the extra deck all that much, because you mainly want to have Witchcrafters on your board anyway. So the whole thing of going into Boral Sword Dragon and Access Code Talker or whatnots to finish a game will not actually happen all that much, because if you finish a game, you will probably do it with Madame Beer's effect to boost your attack points by having loads of spell cards in your hand, which, yeah, is quite neat actually. So extra deck, all up to your imagination. Nothing needed, can play this deck complete without an extra deck, unless you run a Pot of Extravagance, then just put some crap in there, who cares. That's the deck profile. I felt like pretty self-explanatory. For combos, you probably have to look at other kind of channels. I've not gotten many replays yet. I will save some good ones if I manage to get some on my Switch, and possibly look at them somehow on the computer if I manage to do that. Maybe make a second video if anyone's interested, and if not, then hope you have a good day.